What's good, y'all? From the Ashes We Rise Again, Black Phoenix Podcast, MC, TR. Appreciate y'all kicking in with us one more week. Go ahead and get it out the way, TR. Get your troll on. I know you about to do it.
Hey, if this wasn't a day that the Eagles collapsed in the fourth quarter again, I'd be I'd be bringing up how the Bucks and Baker Mayfield are, well, more so Baker is overrated, but I can't even talk right now because the Eagles just, I don't know what is going on with them, but they need to make some big changes. They got a game this Friday, and they're, they I think they should fire their OC KP, but with the game being this Friday, I don't know. But I guarantee you, if they lose that game on Friday, he is officially gone. I think he got one foot out the door. Like, I think they reserved the U-Haul truck, but let them lose that game on Friday. They are definitely walking him out. He like, you can't ride with us.
So, I'll give you this. You've been pretty consistent on where you stand with Baker. I
I've been
appreciate it.
consistent. Yeah, I've been consistent. Give me my fucking roses.
No, because I still think you're wrong. I just said you're consistent. But, however, we're cooked. I'm sorry. I mean, we're still in the NFC South. We'll probably win the NFC South, but right now we're looking like a first round exit team. So we'll see.
Yeah, the Eagles are looking like the first exit too. They can't get that running game down, and whatever's going on with Jalen, they're not going to go far in the playoffs. Like Saquon has like is averaging less yards, or actually Jalen Hurts is averaging more yards than Saquon. That's fucking ridiculous. And they didn't even run the ball in the fourth quarter. Like, look, your shit is like a personnel issue. You're missing a lot of players, so that's going to impact your
It
team.
might be a little deeper than that. I'm not on the fire Todd Bowles train, but he's supposed to be this defensive guy, and
Yeah,
I'm not seeing it. We can't stop the
he
pass.
been saying.
We've never been able to. Man, this is crazy.
Yeah. And what was that crazy thing that they did in the fourth quarter? Oh, that was so they had the ball and it was like third and something. No, sorry. Dallas had the ball. It was like third and something. It was like 30 seconds left. These I don't know what their thinking was, but they called a timeout and that allowed the Dallas Cowboys to huddle up and make that final play to Pickens or Dak to Pickens. I was like, what is going on here? Why did you call that? Rush him on the field. Like, I don't think they would have got that catch. I mean, that was a no
Yeah.
hurry in that situation, but clock management. Where have I seen that? A la Andy Reid. Like, this is bad. I've never seen. I mean, I've been saying this same thing about Jalen since last year. I'm like, the Eagles defense and Saquon have been covering up for Jalen Hurts. Straight up. People don't want to believe Jalen Hurts could be the guy. They're quick as hell to say Saquon is washed, but it won't say that about Jalen. All right.
Saquon was a big reason y'all won the Super Bowl.
I know, but people are saying he's washed this season, and they're like, well, Jalen threw over like 280 yards. I'm like, first of all, he's supposed to throw well over 200 yards. He averages less than 200 yards in most games. He's supposed to be in the 300s and at least have several 3 to 4 touchdowns, but especially
Yeah.
on Dallas's defense, I mean, they let everybody score like that.
Yep. Bring on basketball season. We're good.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, it'll be a interesting Thanksgiving week. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's get to unload the clips. I like that. So for our first clip, actually, did I even say MC? Did you add more clips on here?
That's just the final one.
Oh my god. All right. This one's people do weird stuff, and I see weird stuff like some of the videos that I posted aren't as AI, but man, this one's a real one. And hold on, MC.
What the man? What the hell?
How I Met Your Ringworm. Holy shit.
First of all, what the hell was that?
I think
I
it was
know
a
what it looked like.
clam.
I know what it looked like, and I'm thinking of the other kind of clam, but it definitely wasn't that. But yeah,
I can't believe people do stuff like that. Just, hey, I just picked it up out of the ocean or whatever. Just gonna eat it raw. Like, are you trying to get sick? Are you trying to get a tapeworm? Are you trying to get a parasite?
look, if you see that video, I don't care. Say what you want to about this country. I know a lot of people complain about it. But at the end of the day, you can eat what you want when you want, and everybody ain't got that luxury.
Ugh. Yeah, that was too damn disgusting.
Your type? Why? What makes them not your type?
Height.
Okay. So you want a taller, a little tall.
Yes.
This lady is 70. 70. She is 70 years old. Still talking about height. When does this stop? When? When does it
Never.
stop? When? When does it stop?
Never.
Is he someone that's your type?
That guy looks like CGA actually. Does she look 70? I can't tell if this was a skit.
No, she doesn't look 70. But regardless, that's a terrible mentality. I mean, you like what you like, but you also got to deal with the results of what you like. And most of the time, you don't get everything that you want. So
I'll tell you this much. Men, when it comes to the whole height situation, at the end of the day, a lot of women, they're gonna go if you have the right amount of money. If you have the right amount of access and resources, they're like, hey, fuck it.
funny how
You
that
just
works.
you just got to be okay with you weren't the first pick, and if that's gonna go against your ego. But for the most part, you're still gonna get it. You're still gonna slam. You're still gonna clap cheeks.
Remind me of the old joke that Chris Rock said. He said that at the end of the day, if you're dating in today's times, whoever you're dating, you are not their first option. That's how cooked the market is.
Hey, and some people don't realize how the market is cooked, but some people will find out the hard way. So, oops.
With them, I'm good. I got to play too much. Now, if I get into it with them, I'm good. I got to live here, and you don't. The only difference, you're going to get me in trouble. Get out the way. Move. Just move. You play too much.
It's the holiday season coming up, and this is, will your girl fix you a plate?
You know what I find weird about this? So every time I hear a woman say that she won't fix her man a plate, and the first thing that just popped in my head, because I don't engage in conversations like that.
Man,
If another woman did it, would you be pissed? I always want to counter that, but I don't participate in these conversations.
there was a situation. There was a girl that I was briefly talking to, and I had went over. I forgot what it was going on, but I was like, "Are you gonna fix me a plate?" And she's like, "No, you can do it." I'm like, "Can you fix me a plate?" Like, that told me everything that I know about her. Like, I think I've only had really one girl fix me a plate without me asking. Like, I know a lot of people feel weird about that nowadays, but that says a lot about your relationship. And in some cultures, the Filipino culture, they definitely judge you if you don't fix your man a plate.
There's a whole bunch of cultures that judge you for not doing that, but ain't none of them in the West. I can tell you that.
Well, Mexico, I think.
Depending on what part you're talking about, that's a big deal for them too. But
yeah,
here in America, they are completely cooked.
All right, we got some AI in here.
Lives with his baby mama, but he only sleeps on the couch. Him and his baby mama never do anything.
I'm gonna keep my mouth closed and not snitch. I know my slime is gonna do the same for me.
The government would never lie to us. They work for us.
This is 2025. I can sleep around just like men and it won't affect me one bit.
Girl, you literally have HIV.
She might have 3 kids and 3 baby daddies, but I know I'm the lucky guy in this situation.
I only made $50,000 this year, but it's my duty to pay my taxes. America would fall apart if I filed dishonestly.
My daughter is going to have a sleepover at her classmate's house, and I trust she will be perfectly safe in a home full of people I don't know.
Happy wife, happy life. As a man, I don't deserve to seek any fulfillment outside of serving her until death.
My boyfriend.
Oh my God. Sometimes AI is just a too much of a truth teller.
Yeah. We know that was AI, but it's a lot of truth in a lot of those clips.
Yeah. I do. I think the one that was super dark was the guy was like, my daughter's going to spend the night. I'm like, your daughter should be spending at a friend's house. Like, I don't think I've ever had to worry about that.
Here's the thing. Knowing what I
This
know
dude do
now,
fuck shit on when they're at other people's places. Though,
basically, I was about to say that. Knowing what I know now, my daughter ain't never spent that on nobody's house ever. Yeah. And the reason why I know is because I was freaking out at my boy's house plenty of times, and that's especially the ones where the parents let you sneak out, they don't notice.
Yeah.
That's usually the ones where you try to crash.
That is that's definitely true. All right. The next one we're going to get to, we're going to start the show, and we're going to start with some Brian McKnight, which, shout out to Anton Daniels. He did get the banner up here. He did a long form interview with Brian McKnight. We're not going to cover the whole thing, but I think it's interesting to see how the narrative that was painted against Brian McKnight, like, if you've been through the system or if you have some baby mama drama, MC, you probably won't be able to relate. But for the folks that have had some baby mama drama and they've gone through child support conversations and custody, Brian McKnight was going through it, and he allowed them to spin their narrative about what happened in that relationship. He lost a kid as well too. And so I definitely recommend everyone take a look at that whole video. Like I said, we're just going to go over the clip.
Indeed. Let's do it.
All right.
The plan that I had for them, since they weren't going to go to college, that they wanted to be in music. I'm on tour. I'm on several world tours at this point. She agreed to let them come back. She continued to get her money. And I took them all over the world with me because I said, listen, you didn't grow up like me. I grew up singing in front of people. Mm-hmm. Every day I have about 20 kids in my house, just on the floor. There's weed. In the midst of all of this, I got these jokers in my house who will show up, come in and not even speak to me. Like, hell, Miss McKnight, thank you for having us or anything like that. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The things that are going on. Both of their girlfriends are living at the house, along with all these other people who just, sleeping.
Hey, I thought that was wild when he said that. Oh, yeah. You're like, I know he was traveling and he wasn't as active as much as he would have wanted to. And he gave his kids some freedom, but it's like the girlfriends are there. Like, do you know how many crazy things could happen if one of them, they get into a fight, like find out somebody's cheating, or they start fighting over money, or something is broken in the house, like which he does go into detail about, just leaving almost strangers at his place.
Yeah, and I don't know if we want to finish playing that clip because there's some other stuff in there that kind of pissed me off when he said it. But yeah, his kids definitely, I know for a fact, because I consider myself a fan, right? And I know at one point he was on tour with his kids. So he was trying to put them on and put them on a path to do something. I'm more so concerned with the court of public opinion is terrible, TR. They don't really give the men the benefit of the doubt in situations like this. And they try to make it racial. But if you notice, if you watch that interview, and we rock with Anton Daniels over here, so y'all might want to check him out. He never mentioned, I think he only mentioned race like once that entire interview.
Yeah. Because
obviously his older children are black and his younger ones are biracial. So there's bound to be layers and complications there. But he pretty much kept it on point, and he didn't come off as bitter. He was pretty logical and sensible about everything he was saying. And outside looking in, I mean, he's making a pretty strong case.
Yeah. It's just kind of messed up that we didn't get to hear this story. We had to wait until this blow up. But all right.
It's funny you say that because later on in the interview, not in this particular clip, he actually reached out to a couple of quote unquote black outlets. He mentioned Ricky Smiley by name, specifically, and he said, "Okay, y'all kind of trashed me on y'all show. Let me come on here encounter some of this stuff y'all saying because you don't really know what's going on. He said nobody ever reached back. So that tells me that y'all more happy with the chaos and the disorganization and actually getting to the bottom of what really happened and solving problems.
Oh, when it comes to shaming men and just throwing them under the bus, it is blood sport. It's easy, and specifically black men. And this, anytime it's dealing with a interracial type of situation, or the husband or ex-husband or boyfriend isn't taking care of the mother or the kids or something like that, people automatically jump. Like with Brian McKnight, I didn't feed any of that BS they were saying about him, because I was like, there's definitely two sides to every story. And so I'm not just going to take the shade room side, IG, Instagram side. Like, you guys are freaking idiots. You're going through the stuff yourself, but for some reason you feel like it's okay to go after Brian McKnight. Like, most people know someone going through some baby drama, or at some point they went through some baby drama type of bullshit. But for some reason with Brian McKnight, it was easy to, I saw people trying to boycott him. Like on Facebook, there was a, advertisement for his upcoming show, and they're like, don't go to this. He doesn't take care of his kids, blah, blah, blah. Your own kid's father don't take care of your kids. What are you mad at Brian McKnight for?
Like, yeah, more than likely it's because the particular metaphorical woman we're speaking of ran her child's father, right? Yeah. And it's funny because my other point with this is how much disrespect is a man supposed to take, right?
Apparently all of it.
See, that's the thing, and I tell women this all the time. Men operate on respect. I would argue that respect is more important than love. If the respect is there, the love will come later. And a lot of women don't understand this. He made a point in that video. If you watch the whole thing, TR, he was on tour with his kids. He had lots of dates and bags lined up for him. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I believe he said his two oldest sons came to him and said, "We're dropping out. We miss our girlfriends. We want to go home."
I was like, y'all stupid.
So now you're messing up your bag, and now you're messing up the integrity of your father, who's trying to put you on a righteous path to get the bag. Because it should be an alley-oop for you. You have a father who is a world-known musician. He has great music, and he's literally giving you the keys to take everything over. Yeah. So it sounds like there's some other issues that need to be worked out too. Because if you're willing to, this better be a hell of a girl. Notice I didn't say wife. I said girlfriend. But how much disrespect are they supposed to take? How much disrespect should he take? And what are fathers supposed to do?
I think most people would not make that choice. Most people would understand the purpose. They understand the plan. And his sons just want to do some fuck shit because the money came easy for them. They didn't have to work for it. They didn't have to earn the name. They were just born into it. And it's real sad that, they fucked up their inheritance, and it's deserved.
I mean, they're probably still going to get something. They're going to sue him. He's getting sued.
Yeah, you're right.
On the floor, so
they're living like rock stars.
Oh yeah, completely. Because when I'm gone, my cars are there, my bikes are there, everything.
Because you're on tour.
I got to lock everything down. I got to remember, because but they all have their own cars. That's the other thing. We'll get into that in a minute, but things just started getting out of control. We did a tour where it's my brother from Take Six, my two boys, and myself. It's sort of like a McKnight. We're gonna, the next phase of what we're doing. We got 4 shows left. We come home, and the two boys say, we miss our girlfriends. We ain't going back. We're done. We're done here.
I believe they're teenagers.
No.
The promoters, everything's like, what's happening? What's going on?
And this is why a lot of parents, this is why when it comes to parenting your kids, you have to just roll with the iron fist out the gate. You got to just tell them this is the process. Like when people are being groomed for politics, we don't see a lot of people crashing out, or at least if they are, they get it cleaned up. Well, I shouldn't say that because Hunter Biden, he definitely crashed out, and he could have easily been the next, in line to be president, but screwed that up.
That guy in the White House wasn't his, CR. It was someone else's.
That may be the case, but
that bag of snow.
We can't square away how he was clapping his deceased brother's wife's cheeks, which, ecclesiastic bros, I guess that's the type of marriage you want.
Yeah,
It's just,
not me.
Yeah, it's kind of insane, and I know it's easier said than done, but this is what you have to work with. Like, I know a lot of people would say like, well, they're rich, they don't have to do. You're never going to be in that situation. People are in that situation nowadays. You have kids that kind of do whatever they want. We see what's going on in Chicago. We see what's going on in California. We see like the crime rate. We see in the certain neighborhoods, the communities that are severely impacted by lack of parents, lack of a father in the household. And these guys had their father. Their father put them on, is telling them the game. Like, what else do you want to be? Like, is there a better option for you? If you ain't gonna be a singer, then learn how to write music, be a producer, do something behind the scenes. Like, there's a lot of things that in the music industry that they could do, and they just squandered it. They just wasted just because they want to be with their girlfriends, which they're not even with them chicks anymore.
Yeah, more than likely they're not even together anymore. But this reminds me of something I've said on previous episodes. Masculinity is not always meant to be comfortable. Like, if you're going to offer something like that to your kids, there's probably conditions and accountability set up for it, and they probably didn't want any of that smoke. But for you to choose like a little high school crush, it's more than likely you're going to break up with in a couple of months anyway. Over traveling the world with your dad and getting your own
traveling.
bag? Like, what are we doing here? And just a real quick pivot, man. You mentioned Chicago. You talk about kids and respect. I saw the video of those little kids that jumped.
We're
on
supposed
that
to
mom
cover
and her
that.
son.
I meant to add
Yeah.
that to the list. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that video, man. Like, if you need any more proof that respect ain't there, I just took my daughter to the park today, and I heard a little boy just tearing into his parents. I'll leave when I feel like leaving. You don't tell me when to leave. Man, I'll be there if my daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Talk about getting punched.
Yeah. No respect, man.
Oh, like I got to go do the rest of these shows by myself. On or about 2015, the oldest son has children of his own. Now, when he had the first one,
more than one.
When he had the first one, the woman he had the children with went on, I think, welfare or something. Now, what I didn't know is when you get that assistance that you're accruing as the father.
Yeah.
You got to pay this back.
They're gonna come back and
they're gonna come back and get it.
Yeah.
His last address after I had moved them out of my house.
Thank you. Big shout out to the fucking boomers that ignored their responsibilities and created the child support system that we have today. Thank you, boomers.
And shout out to the women that exploited, because we know most of the time there are good fathers out here who are put in that system and it's used as a form of extortion. Let's not play around with that. We know what's happening.
You know what's crazy? I think the fathers, it's hard to say because on one hand, our parents, that was kind of like just normal. Like everyone just kind of jumping around. Papa's a Rolling Stone. Then you fast forward, I think maybe we had the better generation of fathers because I think people were a little more, focused on building a family. And then it just all went to shit after the 80s. Like it just all went to shit after the 80s.
You being too generous right there, I would say it went to shit in the 60s, because that's pretty much when the decision was made that she wants to marry the government instead of you.
Yeah, actually,
like,
strike.
You got to get him up out of here. And they was like, okay.
Yeah, strike that. Yeah, definitely the 60s and, beginning of the 70s. So.
And I hate to say this, TR, but fellas, if you're dealing with the woman who's married to the government, it generally doesn't end well.
Yeah, you ain't gonna win.
Honest. It just doesn't.
Nope. You are not going to win, and the government will always get their ain't no free rides.
There's the occasional story where they get through and they find their own way out of that system, but it's rare and few and far between.
Yeah.
House. Because I couldn't take the weed smoke and all that. But I told him, listen, here's an apartment. It's brand new. I'm going to pay for it for a year while y'all get yourselves together. You are now 25 and 22.
25.
25 or 24 and 21.
So you were still trying to help them to become the men that they were supposed to be,
Right.
even though they were fully grown adult.
I'm gonna pay for everything, but get your life together. Figure out what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
You have this much time. A year passes. They still haven't done it. I said, okay, I'll do another year. The plan that I had for them, since they weren't going to go to college, that they wanted to be in music. I'm on tour. I'm on several world tours at this point.
Oh, sorry. That was the restart. Yeah.
Thanks.
It's
Here's my question, TR. You know, when stuff like this happens, everybody looks at the dad first, right? Why am I looking at the mom? If you have these kids where you're continuously giving them chances, they're not improving, they're not taking advantage of it. Why is the dad the only one getting the smoke for kids that aren't doing what they're supposed to do?
Yeah,
We were two parents.
it's always easy to blame the father. If LeBron James had went a different path, they would have blamed the father. He became, one of the greatest basketball players in the world, and the mom gets all the credit. So when those kids don't, meet and rise to the occasion, get to that next level, grow up, it's always 100% the father's fault. And it's unfortunate because men know this, men without kids, they know this, but they're all quiet about it. They don't want to piss anybody off. And they just want to, like, ESPN does this a lot. Like, remember the whole Eli Apple situation?
Yeah.
Like, and if I recall, I thought his father was active in his upbringing. He just wasn't married to his mom. And so I thought it was always weird how they were trying to elevate Eli Apple's mom, and she needed to be in the Commanders, Redskins.
Jalen Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels' mom. She's all over the place. She's wherever he's at, she has to be there and everything. Now he's been injured, so you haven't really seen a lot of her. But yeah, when the kid is successful, especially when it comes to black kids, the mom's already there. But if that kid's not successful, automatic blame to the father. Automatic, maybe 30%, maybe 40%, all percent. And it's kind of sad too. And we know this, and men just choose to go along with it. And they're like, well, he should have been in a better situation. Like, if these kids had money, these kids had a good father. Well, I won't say he's a good father because I don't know how good of a father he was. Okay. I don't want to put it on levels or whatever. But for what he's telling me, he was active. He was trying to get his kids to do the right thing, especially when they got into 25. And I know sometimes, kids growing up, it's hard to find your place in this world, especially when you're 20s. But I'm like, because you now have asked for a better situation. Like, people will kill the switch with those kids to be in that situation. And they just, pissed it off, knocking up chicks and running up the child support. Because not in this video, but I think his kid has his name or something, his namesake. And he was trying to go across the border or something, like a Mexico trip. And he got detained because there was a warrant out for his kid's arrest, but they have the same name. So it came across that Brian McKnight was the one who wasn't paying child support, and it was his son that wasn't paying child support. And nobody cared. Everybody was like, ha ha, this is what you get. You're a deadbeat, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm glad Brian McKnight was able to have his piece and say it out there. It's just, how long can you stay quiet about this? That's the crazy part. Most people probably would have said something on the internet a long time ago.
This is one of the many, many areas where men got to start talking more. And I'll tell you another one, TR, DAs, women against men DAs, because it's not always physical. Sometimes it's verbal. And sometimes they do little crazy things that kind of mess with you, mess up your day. We got to start talking about this stuff more and documenting it. But I'll take it back to Brian McKnight. At the very least, we know he attempted to provide for them. It sounds like there was some sort of issues with exchanging of custody and agreements and things like that. When you don't have a man in the house, particularly when it comes to raising boys, it's always going to be a risk. How do I know this? Because I was raised by all women and I lived it firsthand. I put my mother number one against any other mother on this planet. But at the end of the day, if you don't have male influences around you, you are going to have a very difficult time adjusting to life. You're going to struggle to take criticism. You're going to struggle to learn how to be a provider. And you're going to
Crash out.
spend the rest of your life learning things way later than when you initially should have learned them. I lived it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, it's like people don't realize. Well, these kids should have realized. People around them, his friends should have realized. Like, hey, you messing this up. Like, we enjoy hanging out with you, but you messing it up. So that's another indicator that he didn't have the best friends around him. And the women, shit, the women should have been like, if you mess this up, we can't live this life, or we can't have this good life for our kids. Like, they should have been like, trying to push them forward too. I know it sounds weird, a woman trying to push you forward, but I mean, who else are you going to listen to? Because you ain't listening to your dad, and you sure as hell ain't listening to your mom, or I don't know if the mom was even saying anything. So it's all messed up though. But you know what? Everybody has to sleep in the bed they make.
Yeah, and hopefully y'all work all that out. But it sounds like he just hit his wits end. They were taking advantage of me. They're not listening to me. They're refusing to grow and become men. What else is a man supposed to do? But besides, look, you're grown now. Figure it out. I tried to help you. You didn't listen. Figure it out.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I have not seen a lot of people really come out here and just walk back some of their criticism. The people that had all that smoke for Brian McKnight, not the Shade Room, not the on Hollywood on site or whatever. Like, these people, these social media accounts, they generate a lot of rage against certain groups, whether it's the Republicans, whether against Trump, whether against black men that they don't do something for a black woman, or they're with a white family or interracial situation. They don't do any of that stuff. Their bread and butter is to elevate women, black women, and then also tear down everyone else that's not a black woman. Hey, and that's the lane. There's a lot of people that do stuff like that they do it for their only groups. But for some reason, when it comes to these particular social media accounts, they have a stranglehold on the black community.
Yeah, man, I just did a quick search on Brian McKnight just to see what folks were saying about that interview. Yeah, it went how you expect.
Just go to the comments.
There's one site that, yeah. I mean, women pretty much have picked sides on this already, but anybody who has any type of logic in them, when you have situations like this, just don't pick a side emotionally. Just kick back, wait for the facts to leak out, form an opinion then.
Yeah. Yep. Shit. Asking them to wait for the facts is like like moving a boulder. Like, it's never going to happen. So
he also said his first marriage was forced, by the way. Religious pressure, he called it.
Yeah, wherever I heard that from.
Yeah, that's
so. All right, on to some fun stuff. Marjorie Taylor Greene is quitting Congress. MC, before I play the video, what are your just thoughts on Marjorie, just in general, like before we get into like what led up to it?
So, in terms of defending women's locker rooms and the safety of women and the safety of children, I would say her and Nancy Mace are by far the most consistent people in Congress when it comes to stuff like that.
Right.
Unfortunately for MTG, if I'm being honest here, her and Jasmine Crockett act exactly the same.
Yep.
Now the black community is gonna come for me because apparently you can't criticize Jasmine Crockett, but to me they act just alike, which is crazy to me because and what she's gonna be known for, unfortunately, is the beach bad whatever Crockett said. That little exchange between her and Jasmine Crockett is gonna be what she's remembered for the most.
Yeah.
That's kind of the quickest way to summarize her. I know for a fact she stood with women and she stood with keeping children safe.
I think MTG started off doing a lot of good things, and because she was doing some of those good things, people that were in her corner overlooked some other things that she was doing. We'll get into the video, but Marjorie Taylor, she brought this all on herself. I ain't got no sympathy for her. And I'm gonna play the video and then I'll have some additional criticism for Marjorie. So I think she was good for what she was able to accomplish and push, like the conversations that she was having. I think that was good. However, she had something else working in the background. And a lot of politicians do stuff like this. And Marjorie, her true colors finally came out. So let's get to the first clip.
I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything.
Look how this is the Epstein survivors, I suppose. And this is what really, like, leading up to this, MTG was already walling out. And I'm like, okay, I don't need everyone to love Trump. And Trump has done some things that I do not like talking about the $2,000. I don't want to do the $2,000. Like, we saw what happened in 2020. That's not a good deal. There's some other things, but overall, Trump has done a great job. MTG, she is trying to capitalize on this Epstein situation. That's what I do not like. That's where I had the most issue with her. And she's supposed to release the names of these so-called. This is like for some reason this is like really a big deal for some people. And she's quitting. Like, she didn't accomplish what she was supposed to be doing with these e-files. She's quitting before they even move on to the e-files, which no one's talked about again. It's coincidentally just dropped out of the media spotlight.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I do consider myself to be a Christian, except when it comes to PDFs. They can all jump on. They can all do things that I can't say on YouTube. Let's just put it that way. I have no sympathy for any of them. That being said, TR, you kind of hit on something that I was going to hit on too. So first of all, I watched the Epstein documentary on Netflix. I couldn't even finish it. And on top of that, I've seen The Sound of Freedom. If you haven't seen it, it's a horrible movie, but you got to see it at least once because it's the only thing that's going to put in perspective what's really happening.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say, the more political we make this, the further away we get from saving the kids. Now we're arguing about Democrats or Republicans being better, and we're completely ignoring all of these children that had these horrible things happen to them.
Yeah.
And what she's doing right now is front and center what I was trying to speak against. This is not a political issue. This is a moral issue. And this is the time for the Dems and Republicans to actually come together and do something, but they won't because they're too stubborn.
Yeah, well, I don't think they want to do anything, honestly, though, because and regardless of who you feel shut down the government, the point is, as soon as they got back in there, they immediately voted on the e-files. Just 1 day, 1 or 2 days. All right, we got it. All right, now we're still waiting to see the e-files. But again, with MTG, all she was doing was trying to front run on top of this. It was fun till it wasn't. It was fun when Trump was on your side or when Trump was giving you the hug. And now that he's taking the hug back from you, all of a sudden, it's no longer fun. She was only doing this because she needed to use these victims, which a lot of people use, in order to push either their political agenda or they're trying to score easy points. Like, it's easy to get right here and say, like, we need to let these women speak. It's easy to do any of that stuff. She didn't do anything. All she did was to get in front of a mic and put out tweets, and she was pretty much, just throwing Trump under the bus. It's like, Marjorie, what are you doing? All you're doing is getting on the mic. Like somebody else we know that just likes to talk a lot on the mic and not get anything accomplished. There's a lot of politicians that like to talk and not get anything accomplished except just trying to go after Trump. It's easy to go after Trump. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, I had a little bit of smoke for Trump on this too, but I will say that he did authorize the DOJ to release the e-files. But what I've come to find out, TR, is there's some complications with releasing that file because there's lots of names on there of people who technically haven't been charged yet. So by
So
releasing those files, you open yourself up for additional litigation that may or may not be necessary. But
the
what we
only
know so far, I'm a land right
yeah, go
on
ahead, go
this.
ahead.
What we know so far is the Dems are taking way more L's than the Republicans are. I
Yeah.
mean, we can start with Stacey Plaskett and build out from there. I'm still seeing people supporting her on the pro-black side, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. But what you got?
The whole thing with Stacey Plaskett needs to be studied because it's one thing to that she was caught. She was like caught in 4K. And then Republicans are refusing to get her. I forget the word they used to remove you, but the Republicans are not removing her because they have their own problems dealing with another politician in their realm. I forget the guy's name. It's not something Mills, but the point is the Republicans have a way to remove Congress members, and it should be a problem that you have a sitting Congress member getting texts in a congressional hearing. That makes zero sense. How there's no outrage, and let it be a Republican doing something like that. Matter of fact, let it be one of those big shot CEOs getting text messages during a congressional hearing, trying to figure out how to speak to them or how to push back, have rebuttals. People would be losing their goddamn minds. But for Stacey Plaskett, hey, no big deal, mere bag of shells, and that should tell you what the importance is on these e-files, because if they really cared about it, then you wouldn't let like Stacey Plaskett get out here taking text messages, because at that time it was already known what he had done. And then also you have Jasmine Crockett blatantly lie that the Republicans or Trump had taken money from, or was it, I forgot how she said it, but they had taken money from Jeffrey, but it was a different Jeffrey. And she was
the doctor in New York, by the way,
yeah,
different guy.
and she didn't have to be held accountable for that, because apparently I found out whatever you say on the Senate floor, you can pretty much say whatever you want. You can slander.
Well, somebody interviewed her about it, TR, and you would think she would admit or walk it down and apologize for what she did, but she used that opportunity to turn it into a direct attack against the Republicans. And she basically said, "Yeah, I said that, but I didn't say that." It was so bad, man. Like, whatever. Y'all call me whatever name y'all want to. I'm not on the Jasmine Crockett boat right now. Can't do it.
That just tells me the voters are stupid, because they're falling for it. They would never let this fly with the Trump administration. Never in a million years.
Right. And we keep hearing, well, the biggest issue, obviously the PDF part of it is the biggest issue, but the second biggest issue, TR, is essentially you have somebody who has congressional influence who's not in Congress.
Yep.
He's basically, he's powerful. If he can make somebody, excuse me as I plug my charger in, but if he can make somebody change up their questioning in the middle of a congressional hearing for Comey, if y'all don't realize how dangerous that is, we cooked, man. We're so cooked.
Hey, save your family and save yourself. And anyone that wants to get in the tribe, save them. That's it.
Yeah,
because these people, and this is on Republican, or actually I should say liberal and conservative sides. You can't, the amount of men, and this is crazy, the amount of conservative men putting on their capes for MTG after what she done, I'm like, is mind blowing to me. I saw the Hodge twins crashing out over this. I'm like, Marjorie Taylor was hiring illegals for her construction business. You're okay with that? I think I got the clip on here. Like the amount of, and I'm talking about conservative men, because it's like you guys will go after left wingers for stuff like this all day without even thinking about it. But with the MTG, hey, she's a woman, so we got to cut her some grace, give her some grace, cut her some slack. I'm like, it doesn't matter. She is in Congress to serve the people, not to be on Trump's good side. She is to serve her constituents. It's not a popular spot. There are people that didn't like Trump and they turned their backs on Trump and they became friends, allies with Trump. I mean, Rubio and JD Vance are good examples of that. Like, I don't understand why she had to make it about herself. I mean, I do understand why she did it, but primarily they did it because or I don't understand why the men are coming to her rescue. It's like, why are you guys doing this? You would never do this for anyone on the liberal side. And Nancy, I mean, not Nancy, but Marjorie Taylor. Hey, have you seen her stock portfolio? She's done pretty good. It pays to be on the committee
Yeah,
hearings.
most of them are insider trading, you know.
Yeah, but that's
You
my
know
saying.
what, TR, one of the
They get
things
upset
I
about
really
that.
realized what's that?
I was saying,
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi,
I don't think
she.
they get enough upset about it.
All right, well, I think we got a delay. All right, you there?
You got it. Go ahead.
All right. So Nancy
Yep.
Pelosi, crazy stock trader, and everyone on the conservative and Republican side, they always call it out, but they don't call out Marjorie Taylor with her great trades. Like, why is she getting a pass? She should never get a pass. No one in Congress should be getting a pass unless that's their background. And last time I checked, Nancy Pelosi and MTG are not phenomenal stock traders. If it was like Trump doing it, then we have a different conversation because he comes from the business world. He can see things coming down the pipeline a mile away.
Yeah, and there's some rumblings, by the way, that this isn't the end of her political career. She might be sliding herself in a position to run for governor of Georgia. So we'll see how that plays out because I think Kemp is still the governor down there. So we'll see, man. But I kind of predicted this. One of the things that I predicted, and I think we're going to see this on both sides here, Trump is going to split both parties. He's literally going to split both parties, and we already started to see it with the Dems. They're all in on the socialism / AOC Bernie Sanders style of politics. But I think there's a bunch of beta Republicans that don't like Trump and are kind of just waiting for their chance to kind of attack you too. So I'm wondering if MTG is one of those.
But I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me.
Yeah, bullshit. If it was about the women, then you wouldn't be quitting.
Yeah, you basically had the most power that you'll probably ever get, and you walked away from it. You could have had some influence.
Yep, got one more video on her.
As a business owner in the construction industry and as a realist, I can say we have to do something about labor, and that needs to be a smarter plan than just rounding up every single person and deporting them just like that.
Right.
So, and I'm going to get pushback on that, but it's
Yeah.
I'm just living in reality from here on out.
Yeah.
And if anybody's mad at me for saying the truth, then I'm sorry.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, ladies and gentlemen, our next president. Sorry, JD Vance.
See, again, these are people that they pretend they're working for the people, but they're doing things that's in their best interests. And for whatever reason, Marjorie Taylor just feels like she should be owed something, that I've done enough for you. Isn't this enough? And it's like, you are working for your constituents, the people that voted for you. Every now and then, you and Trump, your policies, the ideals, they may line up. He may need your help to push some bills through, or get people to understand what's the big picture here. Outside of that, Trump doesn't owe you anything. If he comes to you and he needs something for you, then you fucking do it. You do it for the party. You do it for the country. But if he doesn't say, hey, you're not next up, you're not next up. So go find another way to get through it, but you don't quit.
Yeah. And just dig into some past controversial statements of MTG, and you'll find some very interesting things about the J-Hats in 9/11 and other topics. I can't really expand too much on it here. Just do a quick search of some of her controversial statements, and you'll see that occasionally she goes off the rails a little bit, and she kind of sways one way, then kind of walks it back and apologizes. This seems to be more than that. But if she was as passionate, like you said, she was as passionate about these PDF issues as she said she was, you left a position of high influence. And I don't know what you're going to do next besides maybe be a nonprofit advocate or something. But it seems like you walked away from the biggest platform where you could help that situation.
Yeah, and she walked away getting her pension as well too. And I'm not saying she shouldn't get her pension or anything, but just say that. Say, hey, I'm going to retire the one day after I qualify for my pension. That's all you got to say. Then we don't have to play this game about, well, when do you want your pension? Blah, blah. Yeah, people want their pensions, but Marjorie Taylor tried to disguise it like she's doing something noble. No, she retired one day after her pension, and that is why she won't do it now. This isn't about her doing it for the country. This is about her just making sure. And it's not even like that big of a pension because she was in Congress that long. But the point is, she's doing it now, or she's doing it on January 5th or whatever it is, because she wants her pension. So again, she does things for herself. She does what serves her best interests. And when she found out that Trump said she was not next up, that's when she crashed out. And she tried to use the e-files. She tried to use the women from the e-files. She tried to, go on left-wing platforms like CNN's and try to have this conversation about Trump. She tried to weaponize femininity. She tried to act like she was, oh, there's people going to come after me, blah, blah, blah. You're a Congress member. After what's happened this year, you all should be like kind of concerned for your safety. Like, did you not add more people to your security detail? Like, I mean, apparently Jasmine Crockett said she's been getting some threats, which I kind of question that because she said there was an interaction at the Capitol, but there's no video recording of what happened, and I don't know. Maybe that can be dug up, but the point is, get more security then if you're really worried about that.
I'll just say this, CR, kind of off topic, but not really. This is yet another example. We spend so much time talking about what's wrong with, and men both sides do this, presidential dissatisfaction, right? We don't talk about congressional dissatisfaction enough. You have a group of people who do insider trading, who think they're above the law, who refuse to sign any type of legislation for term limits or line item vetoes. Like they are just holding on to every single piece of power they have for as long as they want it. And lobbying to me is essentially legal bribery, and they all participate in it. And everybody's like, well, I like my guy, I just don't like the other person's guy. So, and by the way, their biggest failure, I know a lot of people blame Trump for these shutdowns. I blame Congress. Look, y'all still got paid. And Democrats ain't going nowhere, neither are Republicans. Personally, TR, I would say they lose their benefits, and y'all stay right here in Washington, D.C. until y'all work this out. Y'all need to come out of this room with some type of solution. You're an adult. Nobody feels bad for you. You wanted to run for this stuff, so go in there and do your job. And I don't think any of them did it appropriately.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that the Republicans did not fold on the whole EBT situation or the food stamp program, SNAP benefits, because it would have bailed out the Democrats who put a bad plan together. Now, the Republicans will look bad if we go into another shutdown in a few months. So they need a plan in place in order to fix this whole. It really was about the insurance. So they need a plan in place to fix this insurance, and then also any other social programs that are out there. I like that, if you were on a social program, you have to reapply. So I hope the people that truly need it are able to get back on there, and the people abusing it, which has been mainly illegal immigrants. It's not been from people that are, American citizens. I'm sure there's some fraud there, but a lot of these states are saying they're giving the money to illegal immigrants, and they really aren't. Like the Californias, the Illinois, the New Yorks, they're not giving the money to them. They're probably giving them a little bit of the money, but they're not spending the money because you know why they're not doing it? You know how I know? Because they won't share the data with the government.
Pretty much. I'm with you 100% on that.
Yeah. So, all right. We're going to talk some basketball. Draymond Green and Kenyon Martin. So this will be a little interesting though, because Draymond and basketball in general doesn't really show up on our side and our topic.
Yeah, and while you loading that clip, let me just say, so if you're a basketball head, you should know who both of these individuals are. We know Kenyon Martin played a tougher time in the league. He has some criticisms on the softness of today's league, and he may or may not have said some things that imply the same for Draymond, depending on whoever's listening.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get it.
Speaking of Draymond, you pulled up to the On the Rocks podcast recently. You were asked if you thought Draymond was, quote, one of those guys. You said no, and that he's calculated in who he goes after. Usually pick guys who are unwilling to fight back. So some people try to interpret that as you saying that Draymond is a fake tough guy. So I wanted to get you here on this couch. Because I listened to the clip. You didn't say Draymond was a fake tough guy. You just say he's one of those guys.
Yeah,
Not being one of those guys doesn't necessarily mean that you are.
Yeah, I was asked a specific question, and I didn't mention Draymond. It wasn't for one reason or another. I don't put him in the category with the guys that I named. That's all. And I've watched Draymond's career from the time he came in to now. And I think a lot of the things and the people who he has done things to has been calculated. It's just, I don't think it's not spur of the moment things. It ain't reactionary things. It's people, and I said it's just people who he hasn't hit someone or did something to someone, and someone's instant reaction is the next step. Right?
Stop there, Tio.
Everybody can.
So that's a pretty hefty accusation, right? First of all, let me get this out the way. Today's NBA is nowhere near as tough as it was when Kenyon Martin played, let alone the 80s or the 90s. Let's start there.
And that's designed.
Yeah, that was definitely designed. Flagrant fouls were, believe it or not, were a more recent thing. They didn't always exist. The hand checking was allowed. And they were a little bit more lenient on moving screens and more physical plays on defense. But ultimately, Draymond, when you think of toughness in today's league, he's probably the first name that comes to mind. Now, does he intentionally pick battles with people that he know he can beat? I can't say I agree with that or not, but I know he has done a lot of F-boy stuff. I mean, we've seen him kick people down low. We've seen him choke Jazz, at the time he was the Jazz starting center. Rudy Gobert. We seen him put Rudy Gobert in the chokehold. We didn't see any punches thrown. But if somebody like a Zach Randolph was still in the league today, would he still keep that same energy? Hey, I don't know. Who can say? Because a lot of people would tell you Zach Randolph was one guy you didn't want to mess with.
I think, the crazy thing with Draymond is that a lot of times he's getting more smoke than he deserves. Because when he does react, when he does, do some antics, everyone else is treating it like it's real antic. When he kicked LeBron in the nether regions, I was like, honestly, I don't know how. He's saying when people don't react, a lot of people have common sense. He's basically telling everyone to crash out on Draymond, and it's like, a lot of these people are not going to crash out. And you're right. If there was a Zach Randolph or a big body in there, like Bookie, they're probably going to crash out. But a lot of people are not crashing out, especially if it's in a playoff game. And the only person that appears to get himself in trouble is really, has been Draymond Green. He cost the Warriors a championship. I don't care what anybody says. That year that they lost to LeBron, that was because of Draymond Green, because couldn't control himself, and then people were pretty much petitioning the NBA to suspend Draymond Green, and maybe LeBron James made a call. I don't know what was going on, but the point is, he, because of his antics, and I guess he's calmed down a little bit, but he's still these are tough guys you're going to get. The NBA ain't trying to let no tough guys through, and they ain't trying to let anyone the toughest guy probably got is like Ja Morant off the court. Actually, I take that back. Who is a tough dude is old boy in Denver. What's his name? Joker. The country they come from. Let me see if I got that note. The country that they run in, that he grew up in. this is what AMC. This is what they hear. Like that's what they wake up to. They wake up to that. You hear it, MC?
Yeah.
That's what they wake up to. They wake up to that every single somebody trying to change the map. Like that's what they wake up to. So if you want to talk about a tough guy, it's probably going to be him, a real tough dude. And I don't see a lot of people trying to step to him like that because he battle tested. Now, as far as like off the court stuff, I mean, John Morant be doing some wild stuff, and that's crazy. We got to go to John Morant on stuff like this. Maybe Pat Beverly now because he got himself in some trouble.
Man.
And then who was old boy in the gambling situation? He got caught up with some a different type of not the Russians, but the Italian mob. Like, and nobody's talking about that anymore. The NBA made that go away real quick. Like,
I mean, there's a lot of names. There's a lot of names in that situation. I don't know if you. Yeah, I don't even want to mention it because some of them are suing. So no chill Gill was mentioned. So we know Gilbert Arenas was mentioned, but we don't know what the involvement was. And Chauncey Billups, of course, me being a Pistons
Chauncey,
fan, So there were a lot of names. Terry Rozier, lots of names being mentioned. It wasn't just a small group of players.
Right. Yep. All right. Let's get to Draymond's response.
Held off on responding multiple times. Kenyon Martin was born in Saginaw, Michigan, born and raised in Saginaw. So the constant shots has been a little confusing to me because I don't quite know where they came from. And you think, someone that was a number one pick.
Hey, is he wearing is this Beyonce?
Yeah, that's Beyonce. I knew you was going to catch that because I thought it too when I loaded the clip.
Am I missing something? Like,
I mean, he's in that same circle with the LeBron and the Jay-Z's and all that, so it shouldn't surprise you.
Is he gonna wear a Caitlin Clark jersey too? The fuck?
Yeah, new day, man. It's a new day.
That didn't quite happen.
Oh, and we having a conversation. If he a tough dude and he wearing this, all right.
Have the career that I've had, when you talk defensive player of the year or 9 all defensive teams that I have, and he has 0, 1 all-star, make no mistake about it. You are an all-star. I'll give you that. A lot of people can't say they're an all-star, so I'll give you that. You're a one-time all-star. That's beautiful.
Jeez.
But you must admit, like, to be the player that you were and defender that you believed you were and to not have, like, a single all-defensive second team, it's kind of an underachievement. Number one pick in the draft. A lot of people look for that guy to win Rookie of the Year. Didn't. All-rookie team, though. First team all-rookie. I can't say I made any all-rookie team, so kudos. I tip my hat to that. It started off promising. Lost in a couple NBA finals. He got to sniff it. Didn't quite get a taste, but got a little sniff of it. In 2000, playing for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to see that championship through either. My big brother, Mateen Cleaves, went and took that championship. So it's tough to sit in a space of like continuing to speak on my name and call my name out as if I underachieved or am underachieving when I was just simply the 35th pick in the NBA draft and somebody took a swing on in the second round and it just happened to work out, to become one of the greatest players in our franchise history. It just happened to work out.
All right.
Strong argument, TR, where you stand on that.
Draymond, he's been a little disingenuous on here, okay? I don't know if Draymond is Draymond if he's not on the Warriors team. Because there's a lot of moving pieces that have to work for Draymond to go to the next level. So I don't know, man. Like Draymond, he took some shots, and it's easy to take shots at other players because he has his own crew pulling up, all the stats and everything. But everybody knows as a player, they're going to be, there's a lot of busts every year in the NBA. So yeah, maybe you can probably say he underachieved, but I think it was just like, I don't think he needed to like take shots at something like this. I think Kenyon Martin didn't have to take shots, but he's a podcaster dude. So they have the conversation. They try to have some type of additional dialogue. Like y'all motherfuckers don't like hearing Stephen A doing whatever dialogue he's doing. He's having a different conversation here. I'm not saying he's right per se, but they think they're both being disingenuous about this and trying to come after his like numbers. I mean, at the end of the day, Kenyon Martin still got there. And so maybe he didn't achieve maybe what he was expected, but he still got there. And he had a long career too.
He got there, but Draymond won there multiple times. And again, these are strong arguments. And to be honest with you, it's crazy that they're both from the same city and going at each other like this.
Yeah, that's true
Particularly
too.
when they both play the same style of basketball. This is crazy. But do you look at stats? Do you look at rings? Like, what do you look at when you evaluate stuff like this? Because essentially they both play the same position. Like, what do you look at? Like this is a good argument, but I think Kenyon Martin's got a comeback that's pretty solid too.
You know, if you really want to have the conversation about Kmart, I don't understand why no one brings this up. Let me see if I can pull this up, because this was the one thing that I never understood why he did it.
I think I know where you're about to go with this, but let's see.
Yeah, you see it?
I'll do it.
This is, look, I don't, he obviously has a lot of tattoos, but this will probably get you clowned a lot. And I know how much men hate simping and doing crazy stuff for women. He got some, I don't know who this is. Maybe it's his kid's mom or girlfriend or something, but he got woman lips tattooed on him. Man, I fucking wish I would do some shit like that. Like a woman's lips tattooed on you? Come on, bro.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, but I don't know.
If Draymond had led with that, I'd be like, yeah, that's not what's up.
But if he leads with that, what stops him from coming back and saying the same thing you just said about the Cowboy Carter tour on his shirt?
Oh shit! Sorry, I was trying to pull up the third clip to this video. Hold on, let me pull it.
All right. Well, while you doing that, let's ask the question. I'm more so asking this to the people that are going to watch this and leave comments later. Who had the better career? Was it Draymond Green or was it Kenyon Martin?
Oh, that's an easy one. Everybody's gonna say Draymond. He got 4 rings.
Or are they saying it because he's more recent?
No, they're gonna say because of the rings. The rings always win. Rings will,
I don't think rings always win, TR. Rings don't always win, because if that was the case, we always talk about MJ when it comes to rings, but we be talking about their wrestling.
And in this particular situation, Draymond and Kenyon, rings win. He has definitely had the better career than Draymond. I think Kenyon Martin had a great career. I mean, unfortunately, they didn't go as far as they could have and should have. But at the end of the day, I mean, he still had he had a great career. He just didn't get the rings behind it. But there's a lot of top 50 NBA players that will never get a ring. The John Stocktons, the Karl Malones, like these guys aren't going to get a ring. And Draymond, and I think Mark Jackson, and then Steve Kerr, I think they got the best out of Draymond in their system, because I don't think Draymond can go to another team.
And you trying to Russell Wilson to call him a system guy.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think he can go to another system and have the same success that he had in Golden State.
And to be fair, he played with the greatest shooter in NBA history.
That's true too.
And not to mention Kevin Durant won a ring there too. We can't sit here and pretend like there wasn't a super team involved. That has to be considered when you make these decisions.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to take that ring off, but they won after that though, so that's what matters the most.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, last clip.
This is about basketball, so we're gonna keep it hoop. You have taken it that I've been taking shots at you. Your words. Shots, not so much. Speaking facts, getting paid to give my opinion now. So my opinion matters. And getting paid for it. So as well as yourself. So you can understand when something needs to be addressed, you always tend to address it. So, like I said, appreciate the acknowledgement, brother. You stated that I was an underachiever. And let's get into that first. Underachieving? Not so much, brother. If what I got into it for was different than most people, then yeah, but what I got into it was to play 15 years. Check. Right? So being drafted number 1, select few. Year 2, making it to the finals. Year 3, making it to the finals. Year 4, being an all-star. Being traded from that said team for three picks.
Yeah.
Three first round picks. Sorry, not 3 picks. 3 first round picks. Changed conferences. Played in the toughest power forward era that could possibly be. Underachieving?
Good point.
Nah. Held my own.
That's the other thing too. I'm glad he said that too. And I think we're done with him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kmart. They played when they still played, or maybe they're at the tail end of it when NBA players were still, hitting hard and they can do the hard fouls. He went through that. Draymond, he didn't go through that. Again, kicking grown men in the privates, yeah, and multiple times. CP3 would like to have a word.
Yeah, and here's where Kmart increases his argument. Look what Draymond's competition is. Kmart had to go against Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
He had to go against Dirk Nowitzki. He had to go against these beasts of these Martin Stoudemire. I throw him in there too. Like there was some beast power forwards. Tim Duncan, who's probably the greatest power forward of all time. Kmart had to go against some dogs. And Draymond, I don't think ever had it like that. So point Kmart on this one.
Yeah, and just like you said earlier, he was with one of the best shooters, or maybe the best shooter in the NBA ever. Like they were doing things that teams are now starting to do when they just they figure out a way how to hack the system, to shoot a lot of three balls, and you're going to win the game. Which a lot of people are like, yeah, that makes sense though. But they took it to a whole nother level, and so that's when the 3-point range wasn't as prevalent, or it wasn't something that was being gamed into it. It was just kind of people were still shooting in the perimeter and in the paint. Like they weren't shooting from 3-point range like that. And not most players were doing stuff like that as well too. And they still had big men that actually played their spots. They don't do that now.
This is an interesting conversation, but let us know, man. Put in the comments which one of y'all think was the better player. I'm going to read them because I'm really curious about that.
Yeah, hey, I'd like to see what people are going to say too, and I hope it doesn't escalate though, because this is one of those things. Like Kmart, if you're a podcaster and this is your thing, people are going to clap back. Like imagine, you got to take some pointers from Stephen A. Stephen A. says a lot of crazy stuff, and I get it. Some people, Stephen is not everyone's cup of tea. Ask Michelle Beadle. I get it. But he had LeBron James check him in front of everybody. And there's a lot of things Stephen A could have done. Stephen A could have said on his show, his YouTube show, said on ESPN, and he chose to take the high road. I mean, again, there's a lot of things about Stephen A I dislike, but him taking the high road in that situation because he didn't want the beef to go on, it says a lot about Stephen A's character in that situation. But like I said, I'm not coming over the cape for Stephen A because he's done some fuck shit recently, especially when it comes to politics. Outside of that, though, Stephen A, he gets yelled at by shit. Draymond goes after Stephen A a lot. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that will go after you. You get a podcast and you got some motion, you got some people looking for you, like trying to hear that conversation. Somebody's going to say something. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, Jason Whitlock, he catches a lot of smoke for criticizing these players, but he keeps after it. So Draymond should have some thicker skin, but if you're going to be the podcast, I mean, shit. How many times we get called out our names on this?
Pretty much. Anytime politics comes up, it's the worst, but it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Kmart, you got to get some thicker skin on stuff like this because everyone's going to come back at you. Everyone's going to try to clap back at you. And you didn't even have to go through, your statistical accomplishments, because most people don't even know all the statistical accomplishments and your accomplishments in general. They don't know it for the today's players as well too. They only know it for some of the bigger names in the last 10 years.
I would say Draymond is the one that needs to get thicker skin, because he did this with Charles Barkley. He's done this with other people too. He only tends to respond to former players that criticize him.
That's true. Yeah.
They're in the media now, so they have to do that. So,
well, you're right. Draymond should know better too. I forgot about that because he was doing some shows with Barkley. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's true too. So yeah, he should. Actually, they both should have thicker skin. I should have absolved Draymond more, or I shouldn't say Kenyon has a hold of it more. They both should have thicker skin, but these are NBA players, the leader of men.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, all right, we are at the main event, and MC, your boy Andrew Wilson, AW, Mr. Ecclesiastic. You gotta find these virgins. I would have saved the black community. Andrew Wilson, he took a massive L. Like, I watched some of that, the podcast we're going to review, the clip, and I understand why Andrew Wilson was just, I understand why people like him. Okay. I understand because he goes after some of these people, these feminists, some of these women that say very reckless things that are not helpful to men. They're pretty much just bashing men. And this chick, she was flagrantly out of pocket. Just if you watch the sections before and the sections after, she was out of pocket. And I'm not coming to her defense either, because I understand how things led up to where it led up to. And she said some other crazy stuff. I'm like, man, I cannot get with this chick. Like, she was talking about the baby deletes. I'm like, oh my. And Andrew Wilson, this is the girl that is, really should be CGA, but this is the girl that has lost you some star power.
Look, I once had a feminist tell me that in 50 years, men will not be needed to make kids because they can get everything they need out of their own spines. So that can tell you exactly who you're dealing with.
Yep. It's crazy. And actually, is this I think this is it. Hold on. I didn't put a time.
Well, while y'all doing that, if you didn't watch the previous episode, me and TR had a good discussion about TGA, Coach Greg Adams, who we both listened to, and Andrew Wilson, who I listened to. Just context, Coach Greg Adams, he supports the predating lifestyle. Andrew Wilson is more of a traditionalist marriage type. And it was an interesting debate.
Yeah, sort of traditional.
Of the United States, do you think?
We could send the National Guard and start a civil war.
Yeah. This is I wasn't even trying to play this part, but this is who you have to these are the people that have a right to vote and their voices are heard. These are the people that create laws to disenfranchise certain groups of people, mainly men, and elevate themselves. And these are the people and men in masses have to lay down their life to protect these types of people. Because
she's also a liberal who supports fascism, TR. That was the fastest statement she just made.
She supports what?
Fascism. She's a fascist.
Oh yeah, fashion. Yeah, fascist. They all do. They just don't never admit it. They support all of the isms. Racism, communism, they support all that stuff. They just try to dress it differently.
They do. They definitely do. I've noticed that. Hence me no longer being
Our National Guard.
Yeah.
The California National Guard. But that would be treason.
So I'll try to rephrase this. I'm gonna
see if I can move forward.
Understand them.
So Andrew, can I
okay, hold on.
But the reason
but that would be treason.
So again, everybody, this woman, the smoke is earned to her. Okay. Also, Andrew Wilson earned some smoke, but ain't no way I'm coming to the defense for her though, because she said a lot of out of pocket stuff. Like her saying the thing about the Civil War National Guard. See, these are the types of people right here, everybody. These are the type of people that are willing to sacrifice your life because, in one hand, there's going to be less men they have to worry about, either for their safety or voting. And then the other ones, then they get to control the weaker men, the vegan men, because hey, my vote is your vote. Like these are these types of Americans, they do stuff like this, and these are the ones calling y'all simps and incels.
It's funny. She said, "I know this is treason, but maybe we should do it anyway." That's what
Yeah,
she just
she
said.
says maybe because she ain't gonna have to do any of that stuff.
That was the other part. You ain't got to do none of this stuff. You ain't signed up for selective service, and you can't be drafted.
Yep. Exactly.
Hey, I'll try to rephrase this. I'm gonna reframe, and I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator or I don't make good points or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly, you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
Damn, Andrew.
So Andrew, can I
goddamn family show.
That's how he gets down though, TR. This ain't nothing new. If you watch anything with him on this podcast,
the host is like, oh. Now, again, I get it. Like I said, she earned the smoke. Andrew earned the smoke too.
She said a lot of crazy stuff earlier too, but this particular clip is way too long for us to walk through the whole thing.
Right.
sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking
This Andrew. Oh my God. You're the amount of editing I'm gonna have to do on this.
No, we're live. We are live.
Oh man. Andrew, bro. You can't crash out like this.
Is it a crash out, TR?
That's a crash out. MC, come on. He was all calm. He was like taking his notes. Hey, yeah, let me take my notes, which is crazy that they're taking notes like this. But you can't just start letting some F-bombs fly out. All these obscenities. Like, I get it. She crossed the line, but come on. You're supposed to hold frame. You cannot let whoever you're debating just take you out of your mood. And I get it. She did cross the line. She, brought up his wife, but he calls her Chuck. He calls her a lot of like derogatory stuff. And again, this is the debate. This is the type of show that you go on here, probably not gonna say a lot of nice things to each other.
Yeah. So typically, if I see somebody who said something stupid or ignorant, I kind of just feed them the rope and let them take care of themselves. That's probably what he should have did. I would have focused more so on that statement I made previously about the treason. But she said some wild stuff throughout this entire podcast, and she was kind of throwing these little subliminal jabs. Did he overreact though? Slightly, but yeah.
I wouldn't say overreact though, because he went from this level to this level, like in a blink of an eye. And I get it. Most people will say this, and she probably had this ready in the chamber though. But it does bring up a point. Why does your wife having multiple guys, multiple baby daddies, why does that send you to the next level?
Yeah, and here's the thing about his wife. She's in these podcast spaces too. So she's not a private figure. She's a public figure. She's got a notable following as well.
Yeah.
The question is that fair game?
It's fair game. If you're doing podcasts, it's fair game.
And then I mean, I can't argue that. If you have a spouse that wants to be private and is not in his life at all, I think you should kind of keep the laser focused on him. But she's in this space too.
Yeah. Oh well, this other thing too. In this space, in this red pill space, they talk about women that are multiple baby daddies. They get. I mean, we can't be nice about this. Like, they go a whole nother level on a lot of these women with baby daddies. Again, some earned, some not earned. It is what it is. Everyone has their own spaces. if Andrew Wilson is telling people to live a certain way and he's not living that path, and that's not a good deal for most men out there. For some men, maybe you're okay with being a baby daddy, but to multiple men, it may be questioned. You may have there may be some raised eyebrows because it's difficult for men to be with a woman that has one baby daddy, and that's if the baby daddy is around, it's still problematic. It's still an issue.
Yeah, you can go back and listen to our panel discussion a few months ago, and one of the people on our panel said he still has influence over his ex with her new boyfriend.
Facts.
Not the best deal, but my position on this has always been the same. If you gonna click up with a chick that has kids that aren't yours, just make sure she actually loves and respects you, and not only what you're doing for those kids. Now, me personally, me only having one, I couldn't see myself in a scenario like that unless something absolutely amazing was happening. But a lot of guys make those decisions all the time, and I'm just saying, proceed with caution and do your due diligence.
This guy always flexing on his black family. Jeez.
It is what it is.
Fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Damn.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I just say?
Your
Dyke?
wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
dog.
Oh my God.
TR, we being honest, it's a tad bit feminine. It is.
Look, this is the thing. Andrew Wilson has made his money off of these type of crash outs when the woman is doing it, right?
Yeah.
And he's
I told
doing
you
it.
one woman slapped him.
Oh yeah, I didn't get a chance to pull that up. But he's made his money doing stuff like this. This is a straight up crash out. And again, I'm not coming to her defense. Both these guys have earned the insults back and forth. But if this is your brand, this is your business, this is how you're helping men with the ecclesiastic route, this ain't it. Like, this is why Andrew has been losing followers, and he's really lost some market share as well too, because how can you guys follow this guy when he crashes out after hearing someone bring up his wife's essentially the type of women, the type of men she's been with. And then also he's having this crash out in 4K. I bet you money he would want to pull this back. I bet you money he wish he had handled this conversation a little bit differently. It could have easily just been, hey, you know what? In life, sometimes you don't realize who your person is until you meet that person, essentially. And she was great for me, and I love her kids. A lot of people can't say that. It's one thing like dating a woman that has kids or a kid. It's not a bad thing. A lot of men were doing that back in the 60s. You got to have a place for these women. Have to go somewhere. These women are not going to be just, all right, hey, this is why we have some of the issues we have, because a lot of them don't have men, or they keep going to men that just keep knocking them up, but these men have no intention. So again, these women have to go somewhere. And so I'm not advocating like for what he's, if he had just said that he's okay with men going with, women's or baby mamas, and he said he did it himself, that's a different conversation. It gets out there. And most men, as much as we make fun of men doing stuff like that, we also praise men for doing stuff like that as well, too. I mean, Steve Harvey, he don't catch no smoke. He changed one of his stepdaughter's last names to his name. Steve Harvey catches zero smoke for doing the exact same thing Andrew Wilson did.
I'm familiar with somebody else who did that, by the way, and it went bad and they got divorced.
No, it doesn't always work. You're right.
Yeah, he got screwed because guess who's on the hook for child support?
Hey,
you are my good sir, and he'll go off about it to this day. But
Yep.
this is the MO, man. They have him up here in these debates. Most of the time he's calm, but occasionally when they start being condescending and reckless, he kind of matches that. But you see, this is exactly the way you saw how calm CGA was the whole entire time they were talking.
Yeah.
Checkmate. Like,
That is the checkmate, yeah.
Any man who can stay on his square in a situation like that, first of all, either they're really, really intelligent, they know how to fight, or potentially both. Because some of the martial arts trained folks that I know, they just smile when somebody's trying to confront them because they just know what they're capable of. And maybe that's what that was. I don't know. But either way, CGA was better prepared.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dyke. Is she morally inconsequential in comparison to your ditch licking?
Do the men that you try to
Do the women that you try
show
to?
your hatred against?
Do the women
they,
that
like,
you try
convince them
to?
that they shouldn't?
You know,
like,
Charlie, did I
pursue
bring
women? Do they know
Charlie?
that
Did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You called
family
me
into
fucking
anything?
stupid.
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about
fucking
your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because you're embarrassed.
No, Andrew, you're not better than Charlie. And I know some of you AW bros are going to come at me for stuff like that. No, he's not. He did the same exact thing that he criticizes the women, and maybe it's rightfully so. He did the same exact thing. And unfortunately for Andrew Wilson, he's just going to lose in this. You can't say you're taking the moral ground or the high ground when you just crashed out for like a whole 5 minutes. You just can't. There's no coming back from that. And this clip has been floating around everywhere. And it really makes like whatever you felt about the red pill, manosphere, or maybe you didn't know anything about the red pill. This pretty much sums it up though. And these are some of the bad actors that look, I think Andrew Wilson does this for show. I think it's all for entertainment. Does he live by what he's telling men to do? No. I don't think a lot of content creators in general do stuff like that. There's only a couple that that I feel that they live the life that they say that they're living. But missing everyone, this is for entertainment, this is for show, this is for clicks. You're trying to, Andrew Wilson makes a living off of this stuff. That's all he has to say, like, hey, this is my livelihood, and if you could, I don't want to talk about my family. And we'll leave it at that. Now, if she had kept pushing it, hey, he warned her, found out, and then that's that. But he went straight to like, hey, blah, blah, all the similes. And then he was like, I'm better than you. Like, oh, man, you're not going to win that one.
I think they're both wrong here. Obviously, we talked about why he is. He definitely got knocked off his square. And he lost control. He lost his cool.
Lost frame.
He did insult her, but she went even lower by dragging. Even if it's
most women
in the
do.
Public space, all of them do. What you mean, both? You put the ball bad enough, you're gonna get all the little D energy jokes, and I never really liked you. You're gonna get all that.
Yeah, or they'll go after your friends. Look, if
they just
women
go crazy when they get mad. Absolutely nuts. But this lady right here actually is probably one of the most calmer lives that I've seen in a while. I'm not used to seeing lives this calm.
because she came in with a plan.
She definitely came in with a plan, but she should have kept the wife out of it. Keep your attacks focused on him. He's sitting right there.
Well, on one hand, I agree with you, but on other, if he's pushing a lifestyle choice, because all I really have from is just some clips, and then also his debate with CGA. That stuff is not going to help men. Those ecclesiastic teachings and trying to get a prenup will help men, but everyone says that, and the lead attorney said a prenup is going to save you in most cases. It will not save you when you have kids. So I think you're telling people like water is wet. You're already telling people this is obvious. The ecclesiastic route, that is not going to happen. That's not going to work. Trying to say like men need to get with virgins, that is not going to work. None of that stuff is going to work because for starters, most girls and I'll just say kids, teenagers in general, they're already started doing stuff. Patrick Beverly's sister was trying to meet up with an 18-year-old. You think that was the first meeting? No, it was not the first meeting that they had. So whatever solution, he should just get out of the solutions business because his solutions will never work. It would only work if you become president and you outlaw some of this fuckery. And you're not going to, and worried about the women. I mean, how are you going to try to like change women and women outvote men almost 3-1 in most elections? Not just one election, not the important election, all elections.
You can't change women, nor can you control them. So don't even try. The best thing you can do is be the best person you can be and let them do what your lines are. It's your line. If you cross this line, I'm gone. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna fight with you. I'm good. That's the best thing for you to do. But Yeah, man, this is such a crazy crash out, and
Yeah, it's a bad look for him. I mean, I don't even know
yeah,
this. I just know this
crazy
woman's
crash.
Charlie, but Andrew Wilson, I know a lot about him now, and I didn't know about him. I mean, I've seen clips of him, but now I know more about this dude.
But you know what's crazy if their goal was to get views and monetize it, I mean, mission accomplished at the end of the day.
Yeah, but at what cost though? Because now he's been exposed, and everyone's going to always keep saying, no matter what he tries to do, he needs to. I don't think he needs to do anything. He probably just needs to just let this just go over and go the next day and be okay with it. But I don't think he's going to let it go, unfortunately, because
He doesn't seem like the let it go type.
yeah, he had a conversation with Pearl, and I heard that one got kind of spicy. So maybe we'll have some time to go over that.
I can't help but wonder, TR, if he would have had that same energy if a man was sitting in that other chair.
Well, CGA basically said the same damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, we got the example right there because he definitely, and CGA was the person who broke that news. Like nobody really knew about that till CGA brought it up and asked him,
Well,
was his wife's body count higher than his?
Apparently that there had been a conversation about it, but people just ignored it. Like you don't. Again, they don't ever do. We just
He
had a
made it
whole
mainstream though. He made it mainstream.
Yeah, that's true.
Embarrassed, and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people on are bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing, which is immoral.
What you're doing, which is immoral.
Yeah.
I think that you have been complicit.
And I do see what CJ was talking about, how he tries to change the argument. She doesn't care about immorality or whatever. She's a feminist and a leftist. They don't care about any of that stuff, and they have no line. They cross their habitual line steppers.
Yeah, I want to go back to something real quick. So obviously, when CGA and Andrew Wilson debated, I wanted Andrew Wilson to win, but he didn't. Right? He wasn't prepared.
Oh shit! And hey, CGA, I've been rocking with you all the time.
But here's my point though. You can't argue against the free agent lifestyle. Even me as a married person can't argue against it. And here's why. The free agent lifestyle is about eliminating as much risk in your life as you can and enjoying your life to the best.
That's exactly what it is.
Here's like, there's so many positive things about marriage, right? Let me present it like this. Let's say me and you are both walking down the same street on different times and we're about to get robbed by 4 different people.
Yeah.
You're walking by yourself, but I'm walking with my wife. Which one of those is going to be the easier one to get out of? Because it's easy to just look out and defend yourself, but then when you got to worry about another person that's with you who's more than likely not as strong as you and not have the same instincts that you do, like there's greater risk with that.
Yeah.
So you can't, if you're a marriage bro like me, you have to realize that you cannot argue against the free agent lifestyle because it's literally undefeated. And that's just one weak example that I just gave you of many.
Yep.
In convincing young men that
No. My family dynamic. What am I doing? Being married to my wife.
It's immoral.
Then why? So then
under my
so all
worldview,
you did.
that's perfectly
So wait,
acceptable.
Chuck. All you're doing is saying. So Chuck, shouldn't you actually be saying that Andrew? You're doing a good thing. Hang on.
See, and that's the other goddamn thing.
She walked right into that though.
No, hey, MC, nope. You do not get any fucking credit for being
She
a
bought up
stepdaddy.
morality, TR. She
I know.
bought morality.
But
she walked right into that trap.
He said, so you should be giving me credit for it. He was going to say, you should be giving me credit for it. No, you don't get credit for you don't get credit for being a good dad. You don't get credit for doing the right thing for your family. It's just a lot of times it's shit you're supposed to be doing. And then if you decide to be a stepdad, then yeah, that's stuff you should be doing. No, if you're looking for validation or some type of acceptance from a liberal and a feminist, you're gonna be waiting for a long goddamn time. That's just what it is. That's just the life. It's the path he chose. He could have selected, I mean, from what I heard, he left his previous wife in a weird way to be with the woman that he's be with that Rachel chick. So I get it. At the end of the day, They have to figure. You have to figure out your own path. But to be asking like, should I get credit? That's like, oh, so as a woman, I only had 2 abort or baby deletes, so I should be getting credit for that. I'm like, it's all bad. Like, you don't get credit for any of that stuff. No one cares about any of that stuff. Or a woman that didn't have kids, like, well, I didn't get knocked up, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess if you want that to be an accomplishment or anything like that, I'm saying for him to take that position, that's a very feminine position, or pause. That's a feminine response that he gave to her, looking for her for some type of validation. It ain't going to happen, and you'll never get it.
I see this. So we agree that he overreacted and got knocked off his square. But that particular instance, he got some points back. He definitely got some points back. She fucked up when she, hey, I forgot I'm trying to stop. She messed up when she brought up morality. That was the last thing. She should have just stayed there.
Oh, yeah.
It triggered him even more to get pissed. But you put him right back
Oh,
in the race.
he turned it on her.
Argument of morality. Yes.
Yeah, he turned it on her. Yeah. No, that was a good 4D chess move.
Yeah, Charlie, I just want to make sure I got this right.
Huh?
Am I doing a good thing? Am I doing a good thing?
Do you think your wife is a charity case?
By taking care of children who weren't mine? Was I doing a good thing? Whose fathers abandoned them? Was I doing a good thing?
Yeah, you're doing a good.
Dude, that's the other thing too. Why has all the fathers abandoned this woman's kids, their kids? No, just think about what he just said. Their fathers abandoned them. There's only one constant in those scenarios.
Yeah.
And if I were her, I was like, why are all these fathers abandoned? Where are all these men? Because
it was all Jermaine's fault, TR.
Hey, for real. So and from what I heard, she was married to these men, and they just up and just said, hey, I'm washing my hands. And we know this can happen, but 2 men did this. There should something off about that.
I got nothing on that. We don't ask that question enough. Because generally when a breakup happens, everybody looks at the man. Nobody ever asks the woman what she did, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I like Kevin Samuels so much. I remember, I'll never forget this. There was a woman who called in, and she said she left her last relationship because it became abusive. And he turned around and asked her, okay, so how long was you kicking his butt then?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
He didn't assume like most people tend to do. And I just thought that was interesting.
Yep.
Thing.
Oh, okay. Well then, Chuck, why did you use that as a form of personal attack on me? Even though you think I'm a good person doing a good thing.
I'm convincing you of my worldview.
You're very...
All right, so...
Share the screen, by the way, TR. I couldn't see. Oh, well, yeah, you're done anyways.
Yeah, there's got one more... Actually, here it is. One more clip on this before we get out of here, because... Unfortunately for Andrew Wilson, you're never going to... You're just not going to get the credit that he thinks he deserves in these situations, because we know it's just life. It's just the role of being a man. And so it's, again, I think if he could have this conversation back, I think he would take it back.
Has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
Don't talk about my wife. You shut your fucking mouth.
Rachel, are you there? Can you hear us? Rachel?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you not have agency when you accepted this debate with Andrew?
Yeah, I did.
Then what did he do wrong? You do not sound like a person with a college education. And since you lost and you got humiliated, you thought the thing to do would be attack me. And where did you get the idea that I'm promiscuous? I've spent my entire adult life only in 3 long-term committed relationships, one of which is a, almost 20-year relationship with Andrew. Now we're like 18 years in.
I did wonder, hang on, Rachel, I did wonder one thing. Tell me, if she had aborted her children with those 3 relationships, would she be less promiscuous or not?
See, and I played that because I just want to get to that part, because Andrew, there were 2 missteps. One is that she said she was with these 2 long-term relationships. How do we know this? Can I check your whole facts? How do we know this? Nobody knows any of this stuff. She was like, I'm promiscuous, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. The point is, you have multiple baby daddies. Nobody cares if you were promiscuous or not promiscuous, or how you maybe your kids were conceived in a terrible situation. They don't care about any of that stuff. And it's like the mere fact that she had to call in and tells me whatever is definitely on Andrew's side. And then also,
for the record, TR, she called it every time her name is mentioned because she
oh,
says she
okay.
always listens with her husband.
Yeah, that's
just for the
funny.
record.
And then the other thing is they act like they want some credit because I didn't delete my kids. This is such a flawed, this terrible argument, because it doesn't, you're trying to act like all these women. Yeah, a lot of women are deleting their kids. You obviously are not deleting your kids. And matter of fact, every guy you're with, you end up getting knocked up by. Not, she said 20-year relationship, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But two of the guys aren't there. They need if you want to bring your relationship and everything up, fine. Tell us why those two guys aren't there. If you're saying they're criminals, they're deadbeats, maybe we can believe that to an extent. But a lot of women say, I'm like, then you're just picking terrible guys. It stands to reason Andrew is probably one of those guys then. So which is it? Were these really terrible guys, or you just have terrible taste in men? Because at the end of the day, you can't say, you weren't promiscuous and you have 2 baby daddies or 3 baby daddies, really, with Andrew, I assume. You can't say that you weren't being promiscuous when you have multiple baby daddies. That in itself is going to be defined as promiscuous. And the feminist Charlie chick, she started shuffling. She wasn't prepared for the woman to call in. So a lot of times they know how to do battle against women, they know how to do battle against men, but they can't do battle against a woman because the woman, they have no line. So that's why she was all timid. And that's why she was like, oh, well, yeah, you aren't promiscuous, blah, blah, blah. That's why she got all soft spoken, because she was going against another woman. Has she just picked apart some of her arguments? I'm like, so you want credit for not deleting your kids. That's what you're telling me. And you also want credit for running off the kids' fathers, multiple fathers. That's a lot.
That is a lot. I tell you this too. The minute you start explaining your marriage to anybody who's not a part of it, that's
true.
Super ill. Super ill. I'll be damned.
Yeah, no, but I do believe if you're going to be in this space, I don't be talking about the marriage scene like that. I let you do all the marriage conversations, and I just ask the questions, and I'll be like, hey, what about this? What about that? Like at the end of the day, men, you're going to have to. You can't, if you're getting all your stuff from these red pill manospheres, you're going to be jaded, and you got to grow out of it, because I think Andrew Wilson does a great job of going or having these dialogues back and forth about these OnlyFans girls, and I guess Charlie, because it was pretty funny up until that point, but at least for Andrew's side. But outside of that, you're going to have to look at some other spaces so you can be well rounded. And again, CGA, I think he has the best solution for something like this, and not like something that you can do today, and that's actually you can measure and you can actually like put goals behind it. Nobody else can do any of these things. You can talk to a divorce lawyer, but he ain't gonna tell you anything outside of that. Outside of your own divorce. So I think CJ is the one that keeps it real, and he's gone through it. He's single life, married, divorced, back to single life. He's the one that's living it.
Obviously, TR is not rocking with Andrew Wilson, but I feel to a little bit of value in some of the stuff he does and says. But obviously, if I'm being completely honest, I definitely wouldn't be running my marriage the same way he runs his.
Exactly.
It's a choice.
Yeah. So, all right, that is going to do it for tonight's show. Thanks for attending. The Eagles play on Friday, so send me. Hopefully, get some luck for Friday, because I'm telling you right now, the OC is getting fired if they let them lose that. Let them lose that game.
Y'all be all right, man. That was probably the smack y'all needed to wake up. And Tampa will be all right too, because it's the NFC South. It's easy. Except the Falcons are getting better, but the Saints and the Panthers, we got it. We'll be fine.
Yeah, they're cooked. So, all right. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.